Say it again?
Can you introduce yourself to our site visitors?
I'm Brian, and I am the drummer of Gemini Syndrome.
I'm Aaron. I am the singer/messenger.
Awesome. Well, the last time we caught up with you guys was New York City with Five Fingers. So what's been going on since then? Fill me in.
We haven't been home. We just keep on traveling, keep on playing shows, and excited to be doing it.
I think that pretty much sums it up, man. Yeah. Just road dogging it.
Well, you guys are hitting the festival circuit pretty hard this summer. How was the show today?
It was great. I mean, it blew my expectations. It was really powerful. It was everyone there was into it. Everyone was screaming the words. It was super awesome.
You guys have Rock on the Range coming up too in 2 weeks, right?
Also true. Yep. Plus Rocklahoma. I think there's a couple other ones too. And then we're doing intermittent just headline touring. So doing some club dates and cruising around.
So, I mean, how do you guys feel about the continued positive feedback for Lux? Like the album, everything, I mean, it still has such a buzz around it.
It just makes us, know we're on the right path and to keep doing what we want to do because it's gotten us this far. We just follow our hearts and do what feels right.
I feel kind of humbled by it in a way. It's like seeing what, we put so much time and energy into, that the response wasn't just like an overnight, oh, that's cool, and now we're over it. You know what I mean? Like people are still coming out and still discovering it and responding to it in that positive way is like really, really cool.
So, on a personal level for each one of you, do you have a pivotal music moment that occurred in your life that made you want to pursue it for a career?
That's a good question. You know what? It's just all I ever really enjoyed doing. I mean, I was good at school, and I was good at, just the normal things you do, but from the time I was like 6, and music lessons were what was fun to me. It was funner to me than sports. It was funner to me than school. It was funner to me than Boy Scouts. It's just what I like to do. So when I was, when you get into high school and you're able to I can take band and music theory and jazz and get school credit for that. So I was like, oh, sign me up. And then when I left high school, I'm like, okay, well, I can go to, music for college and sign me up. And, I can be in a band and I can travel and I can play shows, sign me up. It's just kind of like, that's just like what I like to do.
Yeah, very much the same. I've been playing music since I was like 2 years old. So I've been literally my whole life I've been playing music. There's really no other path that I would want to be on.
What was the first instrument that you played?
Singing and piano. My mom is a gospel, big band, jazz singer. So she was always singing around me. Yeah, absolutely. I think she got me into piano at about the age of 3. So I've been literally my whole life.
Do you see that you're going to add any extra instruments into your music, like piano, saxophone,
or accordion? Yeah, we do piano for the acoustic stuff when we do like in radio studio performances.
Right.
I play piano for that.
I heard your acoustic at Stardust on Octane the other night. That was just amazing.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
I've been a guitar player for 21 years now. It's just what I do.
Yeah.
If you had to list one thing that you feel people misunderstand about Gemini Syndrome, what would it be?
I don't know what a misconception could be. I mean, without being cliche, people that aren't exposed to our genre in general, they might be like, "Ooh, they're spooky" or whatever.
No, I would totally agree with that. I was really struggling with that question for a second, but I think that's totally right. Is like, oh, they're tattooed and they have piercings and long hair and stuff. Yeah, like we're still in that hippie generation.
Do you think people are still shocked by that, though?
I absolutely do. I absolutely do. Especially for me being albino. I can tell you, traveling around different parts of the country, people look at me and don't understand that the fact that I'm this pale and I have white hair is a genetic condition. Some people just don't know. They've never been exposed to it, and that's not necessarily their fault, But if there was any misconception about that, it's that, you know, like we're evil or something.
Yeah, because people like that, you're gonna. We have to count on people having an open mind. So, I mean, we can only go so far, you know, leading the horse to water. You know, it's up to you to listen to the lyrics, understand what the songs are about, realize what we're all about. You know what I mean? Anyone can get. There's people that look and act and dress a certain way, and they're great spiritual leaders, and there's other people that look and dress and act a certain way, and they're complete douchebags. You know, so you have to figure it out. You know, you can't generalize people by any classification. Going all the way back to, you know, to apartheid and, like, you know, sexism and racism, and
We go from tattoos to apartheid.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's just the way.
Can you say the same thing can go for music in general, not just for your band? I mean, I hate when an artist has to feel boxed into one particular genre or another. I mean, like, if you're a fan of one thing, suddenly you're not allowed to be a fan of something else, and that truly makes me angry. Like, you know, and even as a journalist, they expect us to do this, and I hate it.
Well, I can tell you, I think I can speak freely for every member of the band too, that we have such an eclectic
Fan base.
type of music that we
Oh, okay.
like, that we enjoy playing, that, you know, like we play hard rock, heavy alternative, slashes of metal. I mean, when I go back and we're done, I'm listening to like Imogen Heap, Tech Nine, Elliott Smith, Jeff Buckley, Porcupine Tree. Like, everything is so, it's just, if it's music, it's good, and I want to hear it, you know. So we don't just, like, we're not going back to the vehicle and just like, let's jam Pantera all night. Not
All day long.
Not to say that I don't love that band.
If you hit shuffle, you're gonna come across Pantera.
It's gonna
Right,
come
but
up
it's not
for
just
sure.
Also
Gonna have all this
gonna
other
get some like
stuff,
Gustav
so-
Holst in there. It's gonna happen.
So, I mean, how do you bring some of those other influences into your music?
I mean, from my perspective, as far as what I do for this band, like being the vocalist and the singer, a lot of like Tech Nine, Twista, those kind of rappers, like lyrically and their cadence and everything is just so cool to me. Like, I sit at home and I try to learn Tech Nine songs, and I can't do it.
I just saw him in Philly, unreal. Like, it's so, he was like rapping in our interview, and I was like,
I
what?
heard he's a player.
What?
He's a player.
He's a player. He's a player.
He's a player. He's a player. He's a player. And that also goes under the same classification of people misunderstanding music. You know, people can like look at someone like Tech Nine or look at someone like Hobson and be like, "Ooh, they're spooky," but then you get into what they're saying and you're like, "This is really powerful, deep spiritual stuff."
I think we need to do like a Gemini Syndrome Tech Nine track together. That needs to happen, like a collaboration.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sign me
Yeah,
up.
get a petition going.
I would love that.
Guys, if you, on that note, if you had a dream tour of anyone that you could tour with, or to go ahead and create music with, living or dead, who would it be?
I got this one every time.
Yeah?
Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I know. That's your...
Nice.
My list would be longer.
It can be as long as you want. That's
Typo
what she
Negative,
said.
Peter Steele. Peter Steele's a genius. Deftones. Tool. Tech Nine.
Right.
Yeah, man, the whole interview could be me telling you people I would like to work
Hey,
with, you know?
I already told Tristan, if you guys have a spot on your tour, I'll make some stuff happen. Absolutely. Because I said I work with a whole bunch of local bands and a whole bunch of nationals, but there's only a few that I get completely behind. And like I told you earlier today, this is the only shirt that I've bought at all of these festivals, and I've been wearing it all day for all these interviews. So all the bands that I've had to interview have had to suck it.
And we
But
love you for
I
it.
support you guys 100%.
I know you do.
So, what do you guys hope that the legacy of Gemini Syndrome will be in the music realm?
I don't think I'll ever know because I'll be dead.
You'll be there in
Isn't
spirit,
that-
man.
don't-
We'll be there in spirit. And the music.
To die for that to happen?
No, not necessarily.
But then early
Well
retirement.
played, sir.
And
I hope we have a legacy.
I hope people really understand what it's about.
I hope
You know?
it lasts long enough that you're saying it.
And there's no way to like just say, oh, well, this is what it's about. You'd have to, not only would you have to read all the lyrics front to back, and then you'd have to like look at all the art and interpret that.
They should be doing that anyway.
Yeah, and the people that do, they're here and they're in the front and they're screaming and singing and crying, and it's a beautiful thing.
Well, it's refreshing because I love music that actually says something, because so much doesn't make you think anymore. It's very mindless, and it's refreshing to hear something that actually does.
I'm actually going to get personal for a minute. I see that both of you have triangle tattoos. Do they have any significance to you?
Yeah. Well, this is my sobriety tattoo.
Okay.
This is my SFG St. Francis group. It's a group of sober touring musicians, and that's we actually are a part of a nonprofit, SFG 12, that does rehab services for musicians and stuff that
Talk to me
have
all
problems.
sides.
Yeah. I got my little Gemini syndrome, my little skull, which is kind of a Freemason thing, which represents how, you know, we're all gonna die soon, relatively, and just a reminder to do as much good as you can while you're alive. Got a little sobriety date there, a little Ouroboros, which is
Snake
all,
eating itself.
yeah, an infinity.
I just saw that the other day. They actually do that because the snake will actually
When they're stupid, yeah.
Right,
When they're stupid,
right, exactly.
the
But
snake will
sometimes
eat
they
itself and
right.
think its
And-
tail is
right.
food.
I
And,
just saw that the other day because you saw a snake eating upon itself, and sometimes they will mistake themselves as prey.
yeah.
You can
Yeah,
take that.
those
That's
ones
Yes,
don't
absolutely.
evolve.
life feeds on life.
Exactly. It's a circle of life. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's kind of like, look at the simple life, dumbass.
And what about you? I see the all-seeing eye inside of a triangle, and
Two of them.
yeah, I didn't see the other one.
If you
had it
overlap
hidden.
them, they make the Star of David.
Nice.
One's male, one's female.
One's male, one's female, blue and green.
I like it.
They don't have anything to do with sobriety on my end of things.
No,
but,
no worries. No worries.
yeah, I guess in geometry, the pyramid is the most solid,
right.
perfect structure
Right.
in our reality. And the eye in the middle of it can represent consciousness, can represent God, can represent
I have
your
always
place in the
enjoyed
world.
talking to this man. He is one of
Right.
the most intelligent, intellectual people I've had the pleasure of meeting.
Thank you.
I really enjoy it.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, sweetheart. Oh, you're all right.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for taking a few minutes to speak with us. We'll see you guys out at Rock on the Range in 2 weeks, so definitely.
Is there one thing that you want to address to your fans while you have this moment to say anything to your fans?
Thank you, as always. Thank you.
If you haven't gotten a chance to check out Gemini Syndrome, you absolutely have to. They're an amazing live band, amazing people, complete 100% support.
I'll tell you what, without our fans, what are we doing? You know,
Yeah.
so anytime anybody asks me that question, it's always thank you, because like I said, without the fans, what are we doing? You know,
Right.
we'd just be playing on a really big empty stage and singing to ourselves, which, you know.
You guys put on a fantastic show. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for
much.
your time.